Last time we covered the backstory of the first 5 ayat of Surat al-Alaq. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Today we're going to start delving into, inshallah ta'ala, in the universe, as Shaykh Nanawi says, in the universe of the ayat of Surat al-Alaq. The surah starts with Iqra. And I got most of this explanation from an amazing tafsir written by Ibn Ashur. He was a modern scholar, Allah yarhamu. His tafsir is so amazing that, usually when you read tafsir from the classical books and others, you get a lot of information, great information. From Ibn Ashur, you don't not only get information, you become wiser. You understand the Quran better. SubhanAllah, it is amazing. Ibn Ashur, he died in the 20th century. So he says, Iqra is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it starts with Iqra. So what does the word Iqra mean? Iqra means to read or recite. Obviously back then there weren't a lot of books or papers, there was no libraries, nothing. So Iqra really meant to recite. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was being squeezed by Jibreel alayhi salam, he squeezed him 3 times. We had learned from the narration that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was saying, Ma ana biqari, I am not a reciter. I can't read. So he's squeezing him and telling him, you need to recite. So this has different dimensions in it. One of the first things that you could say, that Ibn Ashur also says, that now you're reading, you're reciting, not the recitation, not the recitals of ordinary men. Before, what was being recited? Poetry, right? What the poets wrote. That was being recited. Iqra. Now, that's asking, what should I read? It's like, you are reading something different now. What you're reading is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What you read before is no longer important. Iqra. Wallahu a'lam, why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was squeezed by Jibreel alayhi salam 3 times. But it's as if Jibreel alayhi salam was preparing him for wahy, for revelation. And preparing his heart to receive the revelation. Not just his mind, but his heart. Because Rasulullah said, when the Quran was revealed on me, also in the Quran and Ahadith, it's as if it was written on my heart, like a book. We understand that after the significance of Iqra and the squeezing and Rasulullah losing his breath, or in one of the narrations is saying, I thought I was going to die. It's something that is signifying that this is not an ordinary narration. It is something that is not known. This is unknown. This is an unknown recitation. And it is a command to recite. It is the first command that was revealed in the Quran. It's Iqra, recite. Okay. Bismi rabbik. Iqra, bismi rabbik. What does that mean? So Ibn Ashur gives 3 explanations, beautiful explanations. The first thing he says, so the word ba, the prefix ba in Arabic, so bismi rabbik or bismillah, that ba has different meanings in Arabic. The first understanding is ba'ul isti'ana. It's the ba to seek help. Seek help. Allah will help you. Allah will help you recite. You don't know what to recite? You cannot recite? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you recite. Recite with the help of Allah. And with the meaning of Bismillah. Because without Allah's help, what can anyone do? What can any creation do? So this is why we say, before we recite the Quran, what do we say? Bismillah. And by the way, just a side note, the ayah that we read, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, how it's typically translated, it's much deeper than that. What are we really saying? Is this a complete sentence? It is not a complete sentence. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us this ayah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, as an incomplete prefix that you complete with your action. In the name of Allah, I will begin this. In the name of Allah, I will do this. In the name of Allah, I want to accomplish this. And of course, there's a famous hadith of Rasulullah, whatever does not begin in the name of Allah is rejected. It has no barakah. It's gone. So, the first thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Rasulullah through Jibreel alayhi salam is recite with the help of Allah. Because without that, there's nothing you can do. Nothing else of value you can do. Then the second explanation he gives, it's ba'ul musahaba. It is the ba of accompaniment, which means whatever is being revealed, it is being revealed that you recite it, you do tilawah of it, you follow it. You follow it the way it's being recited. You recite the way Jibreel is recited. You recite the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Jibreel alayhi salam to recite. You recite and then you will understand it. You will understand it. It's ba al-musahaba. So do the tilawah. Tilawah, the word tilawah, means to follow the recital. So when we do tilawah to the Quran, what are we saying? We're not saying read the Quran melodiously or with tajweed. That's not what it means. What tilawah to the Quran means, you follow the recitation of the Quran like it was taught by your teacher, who was taught by his teacher, who was taught by his teacher, who was eventually taught by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was taught by Jibreel alayhi salam, who was taught by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what the word tilawah means. And the third is the ba of permission. It's ba bil ma'na ala. Meaning, Ibn Ashur explains, you are reciting now with the permission of Allah. Allah has now permitted Jibreel to bring this revelation to you, O Rasulullah. So now you are reciting with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jibreel alayhi salam came with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so much more can be said. We're just on the first two words or something like that. But inshallah we will complete the rest of it later on. Inshallah, barakallahu feekum.